Hello, my name is Rachel and I'm coming to you a few days late with my new release video for the week. So I'm talking about books that were released on Tuesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2017. And I had a pretty intense week and this video just didn't happen until today. But I am at least getting the video in this week, so I think that counts as a win. So one of the reasons this video was delayed as well is that I just had a really weird reading week when it came to new releases. If you've been watching these, you know that my goal this year is to read at least one new release for you each week and talk about it here on my video. But this week was really weird. This is the first time this has happened. Granted, we're not too far into 2017, but this was just a weird week. That's all I can say. So here is what happened. I picked a book that I was really excited to read, and I pushed and pushed to try to get through it because I just wasn't enjoying it, and about halfway through, I just couldn't take it anymore. I DNF'd the book, and then I moved on. And then I also got a sneak peek of a book, so I have like a couple of halves for you because I haven't managed to get the other book finished. But that's a lot of rambling. Let's just get to the title. So the first book was the one that I originally picked, and that is called Lincoln and the Bardo by George Saunders. I was so excited for this book. I heard it talked about on a podcast. I've heard it recommended. I knew there was a lot of hype around this book, so I was super excited. The premise of this book is that the author took this idea and it's supposedly factually based, that many people witnessed Abraham Lincoln going into the graveyard where his son Willie was buried after he died, and he'd go into the crypt and like cradle this dead body, like mourning his son. And for some reason that just really struck me. I was like, I've got to see what this book is about. And I really liked the idea of this. Like, it seemed like it was going to be so cool. Half of the text is quotes from different memoirs and texts that people have written about this time, in relation to what they saw, in relation to just the facts of the time. And they're just different quotes that are pieced together to kind of tell you the story of what everybody's seeing around Abraham Lincoln. And then you switch to the other side and you're getting kind of like quotes from the ghost where Willie Lincoln is buried. And it sounded awesome, but it just went off the rails for me and I couldn't push through. I DNF'd it halfway through because I was so confused. I was so lost as to how half of the things even had anything to do with the story, and I was just getting really frustrated and confused. Now, I know a lot of people love this book, and you still might, so don't let my opinion stop you from reading it, but I just couldn't finish it. I love the idea, but it wasn't for me. So that was my first book. Now, the next book that I picked up, I am still currently reading. I'm planning to finish it tonight. It's called Gladiators, Pirates, and Games of Trust by Ham Shapira, and this is, I literally got it because of the title. I thought that sounded amazing, and it is way more in depth than what I anticipated, so it is taking me a lot longer to read because literally the author asks you to stop at certain points and think through what he's just said. So I mean, it's just a really deep book. It's not one that you're just going to pick up and just read straight through in one sitting. You really need to kind of digest the information. It is very mathematical, and it is just about games of trust. Basically, it's about game theory and strategies and how all these things apply to our real world. So if you like game theory and mathematical strategies, this book is for you. I know it's not going to be for everybody, but I've been enjoying it. It's made me look at things a little bit differently, and it really has made me think. So I'm enjoying this one. And I also have American Street by Ibi Zoboi, I think. And I got to read a sneak peek of this one. I think it was like the first 3 or 4 chapters. And I really enjoyed what I read so far. This is following a girl who is from, I think it's Haiti. And her and her mom are kind of having this rough life in this rough area, and they have decided to come to America to visit some relatives and basically just not go back to Haiti, just kind of stay here without really going through the legal channels. And the daughter, who was I think was born in the U.S., so technically she has some U.S. citizenship, she is allowed to enter, but the mother is being detained and possibly sent back to Haiti. So the main character has made it to her relatives, but without her mom. And you're seeing a lot of the struggle of that, of how can she stay if her mom can't, and her reflecting on her life in Haiti versus how different things are here in America. And already it seems like a book that's going to be very interesting, and I definitely look forward to picking this one up. And next up, I have 3 more titles that definitely caught my eye, but I didn't get a chance to get into too much this week. The first one is called A Tragic Kind of Wonderful by Eric Lindstrom. And all I really know about this is it's a YA contemporary that deals with mental illness, and I believe it is bipolar disorder. So that automatically caught my attention. I'm very much into seeing how mental illness plays in literature these days, so this is one that's on my radar. Next up, we have We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. This one I've heard very mixed reviews about. I know it was very highly anticipated, but I've heard some mixed things. One thing that I've heard is that it's not very plot driven, that it's a lot more about the relationships and how people deal with each other, and maybe the grief of losing relationships or changing relationships. And I'm not 100% sure this is going to be what everybody is expecting it to be, but I have heard good things as well, so I think it's just up to the reader. I think it could really go either way. People are hot and cold about it. And lastly is one I haven't heard too much about, and that is a short story collection, and I'm not really sure, but this just really caught my eye, and it sounds really interesting, so I'm definitely going to give it a try. It's called The Dark and Other Love Stories by Deborah Willis, and I think it's just several kind of fantastical stories that all tie into this idea of like darkness and love and relationships and just, all out weirdness that you can get to in short stories. So I'm very excited for that one. And those are my top picks for this week. So if you found anything you're really looking forward to reading, I'd love to hear about it down below. Or if I missed any that you would like to share, please let us know that down below as well. And thank you for watching. I'll see you again with another video soon. Bye for now.